At 2:41 p.m., 24C skimming C-802s break the horizon. A 21-mile wide choke point turns into a kill zone. You clicked for a minute-by-minute breakdown. This is it. How does a carrier group survive a saturation ambush at knife fight range? We run the timeline from first spy, one radar contact at 80 kilometers, to a final intercept just 800 meters off the flight deck, and the counterstrike that follows in minutes. Watch the layers: SM-6, SM-2, RAM, CIWS, snap on like a trap. Then decide which layer mattered most. You expect open water and minutes of warning. You get a 21-mile funnel, hard coast on both sides, and radar shadows that cut the horizon to the bone. Reaction time doesn't shrink by seconds. It collapses. The strait forces ships into traffic lanes with fixed separation. Tankers run their grooves. Warships thread through them. Coastal ridges rise fast, so the line of sight dips fast, and every degree of turn costs distance. Maneuver room isn't just tight. It's scripted by charts and separation schemes. If you break formation, you risk crossing lanes at the worst time. If you hold, you accept what the land gives you: short sight, short shots. Then 6 batteries light off within seconds across a 70-kilometer strip. Launch plumes ripple along the coast. The sea turns into a mirror for radar. Multipath clutter bounces returns, and ducting tucks low flyers into layers of air that bend signals over the surface. The effect is simple and lethal. Sea skimmers can hide inside the noise until they're close enough to hurt. C-802 class missiles ride so low the curvature of the Earth works for them. Their seekers go active late. Their heads scan for big metal and hot noise, and their profiles are built to slip under radars that sit near the water. If your sensors aren't elevated and cued, the first honest look comes when they're clawing into terminal. That is not where you want your first look. So you lift eyes. E-2/C2 aircraft hold altitude and paint below the ship's radar horizon. Aegis ships keep spy, one array's hot, building a shared picture. Track sharing lets one hull see for 3 more, extending the first look beyond what any single mast could earn. The network turns one node into many. It buys seconds. Seconds buy shots. Think of it like a hockey line. The outer skaters chew speed off the rush. The goalie only handles what leaks through. Out front, elevated sensors take the first read. Mid-ice, the cruisers and destroyers box in the problem. The carrier tends the crease. First contact forms as faint lines on scopes around 80 kilometers. Track files stitch from raw blips to coherent paths. Unknown flips to inbound raid when speed, altitude, and bearing line up with the threat library. Doctrine settings, those baked-in rules, decide how fast the system moves from track to trigger, what it shoots first, and how many rounds per track it's ready to commit without waiting. The raid isn't a blob. It's staggered bearings with tight launch windows. Some missiles stay silent longer, delaying seeker activation to complicate who gets targeted when. Others go active early to force decoys and jamming. The plan is to split attention, soak up interceptors, and arrive in layered waves that squeeze the decision loop. The goal is not one hit at once. It's too many hits just late enough to stress the stack. Spacing of escorts matters more than bravado. Push a destroyer forward on the threat axis, place another offset to catch crossers, and keep an airborne eye overhead, and the choke point flips. The blind corner turns into a trap that cues the whole defense. The first intercepts trigger the stack. Tracks clarify, launch cells open, and the group fights as one brain, not 6 nervous hands. Now the net is set, and the raid has a shape. Watch how the outer shots clear lanes, how mid-layer missiles sweep crossers, and why one miss only means the next shooter has a clearer shot. You hear the term layered defense. You rarely see it run at full speed. Here you do. What fires when and why comes down to range, track confidence, and seconds you can steal. The outer air battle belongs to SM-6. Long legs, high speed, broad seeker options. They reach first and force the raid to spend energy early. Midcourse control is SM-2 land. Solid, reliable, built to kill crossers and anything that slips past the edge fight. Inside that, RAM and CRAM sit as the quick fists, short range with fast reaction. Last ditch is CIWS, the gun you never want to hear because it means everything else is inside breath distance. Now stack the problem across two bearings. Inbounds arrive from north and east, staggered by seconds. That forces choices. How many missiles per target, when to hold for confirmation, when to shoot versus shoot. Electronic attack adds a veil, false targets, noise, and timing games to mask seeker wake-ups. Decoys must not fire too early or they waste their window. Too late, and they don't bend a lock in time. The opening volley goes to the big sticks. SM-6 pairs leave in tight intervals on the highest confidence tracks. Guidance rides the network, so the shooters don't need their own line of sight the whole way. First intercepts don't just kill. They force leakers to jink and drop to harder profiles, bleeding speed and fuel. Every weave steals seconds from their terminal plan. Every second taken makes the inner layer stronger. But then the edge geometry shifts. A few missiles survive on the margins, either from kinematics or seeker tricks. Handoff starts. Spy 1 keeps track quality clean, velocity, bearing, altitude, so SM-2 can take the crossers without hunting. Those shots come quick on updated vectors, cleaning up anything that rode the duct or hid in multipath long enough to sneak through the first net. Meanwhile, escorts roll soft kill. Nulka decoys haul a bright lure downwind, pulling radar seekers off the hull line. Chaff blooms at a smear that swallows returns and breaks aim. Jamming muddies the picture, forcing seekers to widen gates and commit later, which buys the inner screen a slice of time that matters more than steel. Soft kill is not glamour, but it moves the finish line back. Inside 10 kilometers, the fight turns knife short. Ram cues from the ship's tracks and fires fast, small bursts aimed at the hard leakers. The ship helps. Helmsmen swing the bow to give launchers the best arcs. Speed changes set the target off the beam for better geometry. Ram eats the agile ones, the late pop-ups, the missiles that think they beat the net. They did not. If a few still run in, the last line speaks. CIWS spins, tracks, and throws a dense stream of metal into a window measured in heartbeats. The gun fires only when nothing else stands between the ship and the hit. It is loud, brutal, and honest. At this range, the decision is binary: stop it now or take it. The mini payoff lands here. The final leaker dies inside a kilometer. Not because one system saved the day, but because each layer set the next one up. Outer shots burned time. Midcourse sealed the gaps. Soft kill bent seekers. Inner screen finished. Overlap is the strength. Redundancy is the plan. That is how a stack holds under saturation. Meanwhile, the air is still thick with interceptors and debris trails when a second operation spins up. It's fast, it's far-reaching, and it starts before the echoes fade. Freedom of navigation in a kill zone comes from overlap. Sensors see first, shooters stack, and soft kill steals seconds. That mix turns a choke point into a controlled fight, even when the water squeezes you and the raid comes low and fast. It's a goalie line. Outer shots slow the rush, inner hands finish the leaker. Which layer mattered most in this fight, and why? Comment your choice below. If you want more breakdowns at this depth, hit the subscribe button. We'll keep pulling apart the tactics that decide who sails and who sinks. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand modern conflict.